The Seahawks did exactly what we all wanted them to do. Take an inferior opponent and beat them with ease. And that's exactly what was done. A 21-0 lead in the first quarter, which 21 points was tied for a franchise record for most points in one quarter. A 38-6 lead at halftime. Essentially, we knew this game was over. And that's what I wanted to see. I've talked about it previously on my videos this week. I didn't want to see a trap game. I didn't want to see us play down to competition. I wanted a blowout where we can take this short week. We're going to Arizona. We're already dealing with the injuries from Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, Zach Charbonnet, Nicky Manwari's still out. I wanted those guys to be able to take the day off, have a blowout, win without them, have them be healthy coming on Thursday. And we got that plus more. We got the chance to have Sam Darnold sit out part of the game. And George Holani got 10 carries at the end of the game because it was a blowout. We were up, 44-6 at one point. So that's exactly what we asked for, and we got that. We were able to take care of business, and we're possibly going to be a lot healthier and a lot more rested than the Cardinals on Thursday on a really short week. We play in 4 days. So this was perfect to see. And there's so many people to shout out and so many units to shout out here that I don't even know where to start. And per usual with my post-game videos, I like to consider them almost a podcast where I'm just going to be talking into the mic and talking about some of the great things that happened throughout the game. And we'll start with Torrey Horton, of course, with the longest punt return in Seattle Seahawks history, 95-yard touchdown punt return. And not just that, the first punt return touchdown since Tyler Lockett at St. Louis on September 13th of 2015. So it has been 10 years and 8 days since the Seahawks have had a punt return for a touchdown. And it was Tyler Lockett's. And I feel like it's funny because I feel like I've mentioned, not just me, but I feel like it's been mentioned that Torrey Horton can be the Tyler Lockett for this franchise. He was a 5th-round pick. What a steal. Comes in as a number 3 receiver. He's going to be behind Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba, of course, but he's going to make an impact, special teams and as a receiver. Don't forget, he caught a touchdown last week. This week, he again had more catches than Cooper Kupp. He had 3 catches, 32 yards, and another receiving touchdown on top of a 95-yard punt return touchdown, the longest in Seahawks history. So 5th-round pick, an absolute steal. Torrey Horton, obviously, to me, is the player of the game. Hats off to him. Like I mentioned already, a 21-point first quarter was tied for the most ever in the first quarter, and that record was previously in 2006. It was against the New York Giants, September of 2006. So it's been 20 years since we had a 21-point first quarter. And that Torrey Horton, special game is with 2 other Seahawks here, and they're also special Seahawks. Torrey Horton became the 3rd player in Seahawks history. Bobby Ingram versus Detroit in 2003 and Joey Galloway versus San Diego in 1998 to record a receiving touchdown and a punt return touchdown in the same game. So that hasn't happened in 22 years. And then previously before that was 1998, so almost 30 years ago. That was a special game from Torrey Horton. Now let's talk about a few other pieces. Kenneth Walker, once again. Zach Charbonnet's out. He got, majority of the carries, but Holani got in for a lot of the game because of just a blowout. But Kenneth Walker, 16 carries, 38 yards. Didn't break out for, many big runs. He had a 10-yard run, that's it. But 2 touchdowns on the game again. I think it's very clear Kenneth Walker's running back 1. He kind of proved it last week. He's proving it again this week. He's running back 1. A solid game from him. Wasn't his, best 2.4 yards per carry, but he ended up with 2 touchdowns on the day. Obviously making an impact. Had 1 catch for 12 yards. So he was at 50 yards today on 16 attempts in total, or 17 attempts in total with the catch. Solid game, running back 1, especially if Zach Charbonnet obviously banged up. It's pretty clear. I'm going to get to Sam Darnold last after I talk about, of course, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, 5 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. This guy is just as special as we thought he was. This is Jackson Smith and Jigba's first 3 games. 9 catches for 124 yards, 8 catches for 103 yards, 5 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown, which if this wasn't a blowout, he might have had 120 yards, 130 yards today, but it was just an absolute blowout. So, I mean, he only got 6 targets and 5 of them were catches. In previous games where it was a close game, the whole week, he had 13 targets against San Francisco. He had 10 targets against Pittsburgh, just 6 targets today, but still made out to have a 45-yard catch, 96 yards and a touchdown. Just a special time for him. Let's talk about Sam Darnold too. Sam Darnold was 4 points or 4 rating away from a perfect passer rating today. He was at 154.2. I think a perfect passer rating is, 158.3. So he was at 154.2. So he was 4.1 points away from having a perfect passer rating. 14 of 18. Didn't have to force anything today once they had that huge lead anyways. I mean, they had a, 21-0 lead in the first. One of them was a punt return touchdown. Another was the blocked punt that landed on like the 15-yard line. I don't even remember exactly. The offense didn't have to produce that much, but what he did was great. 14 for 18, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, made no mistakes. Just a solid game. Exactly what you want from a team that was trying to establish the run, and the defense and special teams was showing up. So shout out to Sam Darnold, a second week in a row with a pretty clean game, not too many mistakes, and helping lead this offense to just being a balanced offense. Couldn't be happier. The offense, we know what happened today. It's kind of like one of those things too. They didn't have to do anything unique or special. They just had to capitalize on the punt, block punt, and capitalize a couple times, and they were good. Game was over. Defensively, I'm happy. Without Devin Witherspoon and without Julian Love this week, Josh Jobe had 11 tackles, 9 solo tackles, a pass deflected, and probably should have had a pick. I don't know about that illegal contact call. It was a little questionable to me. Another solid game from Josh Jobe. This is just proving to be really great to have him out there. You had Ty Okada pretty much in place of Julian Love. Had 7 solo tackles, 9 total. Second on the team in tackles after Josh Jobe. And he had half a sack. QB hit, obviously, and just a solid game overall. Ernest Jones, a tackle for loss. We had a Byron Murphy sack. A Leonard Williams half sack with Ty Okada there. There's literally no notes here other than if you want to say, we got some Mike Morris tackles and some Drake Thomas tackles in there, which guys that, you're not going to see as much. And Darion Kendrick, second game in a row with an interception. So anything that could have been negative about this week coming into this week for me, if you watched my long form video on my, prediction for the game, is my only concern was Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, and Nick Emanwuri still being out. What does that mean for the secondary? Are they going to struggle? I thought, if there's any game they're going to be out, it's against Spencer Rattler, who I think is now 0-8 in his NFL career. This was the game to have these guys show up big and build confidence. I mean, Ty Okada probably built some good confidence today. If we need him again this year, he will be there to show up. Josh Jobe probably feels like he is a top corner in the league. I mean, he was the only corner going into week 3 that's allowed a 0 passer rating in the entire NFL. At least guys that are qualified had enough snaps, which is even more impressive. And I don't know what it is today, but it looks like he'll probably be close to a 0. So building confidence. These are backups I'm naming. Ty Okada, Josh Jobe, Darion Kendrick, second game in a row with a pick, second day of building confidence. This is exactly what you want out of this. DeAnthony Bell, he had a big tackle for loss. He had the blocked punt. Another guy that was elevated off the practice squad and showed up big. So overall, everything that could have gone wrong went right. The preview for me of this game was hopefully the secondary figures it out. Hopefully Kenneth Walker is good to go as, the solo back without Zach Charbonnet there. Hopefully, Sam Darnold finds a rhythm again with JSN like he has been, and with Torrey Horton and with Cooper Kupp. All happened. The offensive line, I think, had their first, was it a false start holding penalty of the whole season, whatever it was. Offensive line, solid again. Derek Young, he had a kick return, went for 60 yards also. And I think he ended up with a big catch too. This was near the end of the game, so it kind of started. He had a 12-yard catch as well. So he got some playing time and got to show up. So everything that, essentially could have gone wrong defensively or offensively because of injuries or just situationally could have gone wrong basically went right. The secondary showed up even with backups. The offense showed up even with some injuries. Some young guys, Torrey Horton, showed up. Everything just worked out. And from the beginning, from what I said, that's the most important piece to me. It all worked out, not only letting those injured guys have the day off like Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon while we have a game on Thursday, so they're more likely to play now without being hurt coming on Thursday in Arizona. And the offense got a break at the end of the game. I mean, Sam Darnold didn't finish the game. It was Drew Lock. George Holani is the one who got the carries, and Jacardia Wright. I always struggle with these names sometimes. Got 5 carries for 20 yards. That's 15 carries that didn't have to go Kenneth Walker's way while he was a solo back today. Obviously, Jalen Milroe had to play too, 1 carry, 3 yards. But all that is such a positive, not only because they held up, they had their hurt guys' backs and showed up big. It didn't affect the team long term. They just got a win with ease. It also helps moving to Thursday on 3 days rest, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're playing Thursday Night Football in Arizona, which I'll be at the game. I said that last video. Hit me up if you're coming too. Let me know if you're going to be at the game. That is huge. I'm hoping Devin Witherspoon can be back. I'm hoping Julian Love can be back. The offense did not have much on it today. Cardinals were in a last-second game, lost on a last-second field goal to the 49ers. They were, and lost James Conner, unfortunately. I love James Conner. I know they're our rivals, but his story, great dude. Cardinals lost James Conner. He went out on the cart, so he's probably out. We are, we're going to go play the Cardinals Thursday, who just lost James Conner most likely, played a last-second game against the 49ers while we had our starters resting at the end of the game because of a 44-13 blowout. And we got to rest guys like Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, who were doubtful, which means they're probably going to play next week. They needed this week off to get healthy. So it all worked out. There's nothing else I can say here. It's kind of a ramble just about how great everything went. I couldn't be more excited about what's to come because Thursday, I think we should beat the Cardinals. We do good in Arizona, number 1. Number 2, all the reasons I mentioned. That would put us at 3-1 if we win that game. So 3-1 to start the season would be huge, and I feel like today helped set up a really good chance to win on Thursday in Arizona. I can't wait. I'm excited for this week. I'm going to try on Monday to get out my usual PFF ranking videos, maybe do a preview video on Tuesday, try to bang them out early this week because the game's on Thursday. Don't expect maybe a post game on Thursday because I'll be at the game, but maybe Friday morning. After the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, hopefully. But I'm going to try to get as much content out to you guys this week. Awesome win. Couldn't be happier. And if you're a Mariners fan, I hope you are. Let me know in the comments. I might do some long-form Mariners this week because they're up 7-1 on the Astros right now on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. They're going to be taking a 3-game lead in the division. They just overtook the 2 seed in the American League. They're going to win 14 out of 15 games after this win. The Mariners are really exciting too. So I couldn't be happier watching a 7-1 Mariners lead on Sunday Night Baseball, a 44-13 Seahawks win. Things are going in the right direction, which feels rare sometimes in our Seahawks world. So our Seahawks and Mariners world, especially the Mariners world, but recently the Seahawks too. Things haven't been, always going to plan. So this has been awesome. I can't wait to be enjoying this win all week while I make some more videos for you guys. And I can't wait to hopefully see a win in Arizona on Thursday. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.